What's up, Straight Talk Society? This is your boy Trevor, and I'm back with another episode of Straight Talk with Trevor. And tonight I'm introducing a new segment to the show, the Straight Talk Shorts. And in that, what we're going to do is people who have disputes or just want to debate me on anything that I've said in previous episodes, anything that I've said or anything that my guests have said, they can come on to the show and air their grievances or tell me their likes or whatever. So in our first edition of the Straight Talk Shorts, I have Mr. Kevin Johnson in studio. And let me just preface this by saying I've been waiting to have this guy sitting in front of me for a long time to sit down and have a conversation with him. And he has a bone to pick with me. So, Mr. Johnson, go on and air your grievances.
First of all, thank you for the invite. You want to call me out when I'm coming to Straight Talk Studio, so here I am. And second of all, it is not a bone. It's just a poignant observation that I've recognized. So I figured, let me ask you about it, because I've heard it in your season 1, and I've heard it in season 2, episode 1, from you and your guest.
And he's been a listener from day 1, which I appreciate.
Right. So it prompted me to wonder and ask the question. So the issue is your guest from both seasons asks how would someone feel, or how would gay individuals feel if you put on a shirt that said heterosexual pride or something along that line, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It was in the Love and Pride episode where I was talking with Samantha, and I asked her. I said it's okay for people to wear gay pride shirts, but how would you feel if I wore a shirt that says straight pride?
Right. Straight pride, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, straight pride. So that prompted me to wonder the question, because you're not the first person I've heard say that. So the question I have for you and your other guests who may think along that line is, what do you think gay pride means? Or what is your observation and view of gay pride? Because I'm willing to guess that what your view and interpretation of gay pride is really not what is at the root of what gay pride truly means.
That's a fantastic question. And damn, okay, you put me on a hot seat with that. Okay, so in full transparency, when we did this, I didn't know what was coming up. So he does kind of really have me on the hot seat with this.
You don't gotta answer now.
Oh no!
If you got time, if you gotta think about it.
Oh no! It's straight talk, baby.
Cool.
I'm gonna give you an answer. Okay. So what I think gay pride, when I think of gay pride, it's just like me saying I'm black and proud. I'm black and be proudful of what you are. Now the problem that I get from that is when you have to wear it out. So it's like, oh, see me, I'm gay and I'm so happy about it. Like, not as if I couldn't already tell, you know. It's like you then have to go the extra step and say, well, look at me. I think that's what it's more about to me. It's like, look at me, I'm gay and I'm happy and whatever, which is fine. Be gay and happy. But how would it make you feel if I wore a shirt that said, I'm straight, you know, here I am, I'm slinging it all over the place, blah, blah, blah. That wouldn't make you feel too comfortable. Versus you wearing a shirt that's saying, oh, I'm super gay and happy, look at me and this and that. So I think it comes, even last week with my guest Zay, he said it's not so much with gay people, because again, you heard last week, I changed a lot. I could care less about that. It's just, it's the gay guy that's gonna be overly gay with it, like just, oh, look at me, I'm a woman and this and that, versus just be gay. You're happy, just be fucking gay, you know, like whatever, who cares?
Okay.
Nobody cares, like be gay. I could care less who's, you know, but it's like, oh, I'm wearing a gay pride shirt, but then if I turn around and wear a shirt that says straight pride on it, now I'm being an asshole. I hope that answered or gave you an idea of kind of, I know I went around the circle with there, but
Okay. It's your honest answer and honest perspective, so I have to respect it. It is what it is. But okay.
So now, if okay, so let's so would okay, cancel that. Where's this gonna go into an episode? All right, we were gonna try. We were gonna try to do the. We were gonna try to do the.
Use it for.
We were gonna try. We were gonna try to do a short episode, and I may clip this and just put this out as a little teaser. But let's go. Let's do the straight toss because I'm drinking. You're drinking. We already hyped up.
I've triggered you.
Yeah, you already triggered me. So let's just go with it. I mean, we weren't gonna do this, but let's just go with it.
Hey. This is what you get when you talk about when I'm coming to Straight Talk Studio with us.
And let me tell you, he literally shocked me because I woke up this morning and saw something that said, Florida, I'm on my way or something like that. And I'm like, wait, what? You know, I've been trying to get this guy to come on this show for the longest, and here it is. He just pops up on me, and then we weren't even going to record because we were just outside relaxing, and he was down with it. So I said, hey, let's do the damn thing. So I'm drinking, he's drinking. We might as well.
That's fine.
Hey, you guys know how I do it. Straight Talk Society, it's time to talk straight. So, in the studio, I do have Kevin Johnson here, and you are, I mean, let's face it, you are a gay man, right? Mm-hmm. And
I am, yes.
Yeah, you are a gay man. You're happy about it. I mean, so what? Shit, you guys heard me last week when I was in prison, and when I say prison, I mean when I was in Christian church. A lot.
Okay. I have not listened.
Oh, you haven't listened to last week's episode? Okay.
So I did not get that reference.
Okay, so a lot of my feelings towards the gay community was coming out of ignorance of the Christian church.
Gotcha.
Which, and I call it ignorance because the Christian church, on one hand, they'll turn around and say, oh, gay, you're going to hell. But you look at every choir director, most of the people leading praise and worship, you know, some of the preachers, you know, so
administrative staff.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man, you got to pick your poison there. So you're openly gay, man, and how has that been for you?
That's a really great question. How has that been for me now versus 10, 20 years ago? It's different. It's been different.
Because, I mean, my fans can't see you, but it's a big guy. Like, if you guys see me in person, I'm 6'2", 260. This guy dwarfs me. Like, how about you, about 6?
Okay, like, why you gotta make me feel like that?
Well, when you say when you dwarfs me, it looks like you're about 6'8". What are you, about 6'5"?
I'm 6'6".
6'6".
You make me sound like I'm the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
It's a big dude, though, man. It's a big burly man, you know, so you wouldn't look at him and say, oh man, he's gay right off the rip. Again, we pass judgment just based on what somebody looks like. Right. And I know I've been guilty of it. You see guys like dainty little guys and you don't realize they probably get more, you know, coochie than us. But it's, you know, so I look at him and I'm like, okay, it's too big to be gay. That's your first thing you say. So how has it been for you?
How has what been for me?
Just, I guess, the gay lifestyle in a whole. Just
honestly, so let me answer that question in this roundabout way, which is why I asked you that question. The gay lifestyle since you are not a member of the community, you would not know this, can be difficult, can be treacherous, can be emotionally toxic, emotionally draining.
How so?
Because it can be. You're dealing with a community who has to deal with stigma consistently for their whole life. So finding people who you can be true and genuine and authentically yourself with is, you remember that post that I posted where you was like, stop being deep until you show up in the studio?
Yes.
That is a legitimate post about people in general, but it's a lot in the gay community of folks who operate from a space of trauma versus boundaries or just having a sense of genuine, I see you, I understand who you are, and I accept you for who you are.
So full disclosure, I've known Kevin all his life. So this isn't just some random person that I know. I've known him longer. I'm older than him, so I've known him his entire life.
Like, full disclosure, we're
cousins.
Family, we're cousins, right?
So, how was it? We're Jamaican.
Right.
And we know how Jamaicans are when it comes to that. We could be assholes, and we know that. How was it? Is an understatement. How was it growing up in the Jamaican culture? And I assume that you hit it most of the time.
See, that's where I say, when you ask the question, how has it been, is where I say it's tricky. Because yes, the younger me, the Jamaican kid, born and raised, immigrated here, me, that was a hard time. And it wasn't a hard time from the perspective of I'm gay. It's a hard time from the perspective of I know I'm different, but I can't figure out what the fuck it is. Wait a minute, can I curse?
Oh, come on,
okay,
man.
let me be out. Okay.
It's straight talk. Okay. You can say whatever you want.
Right. So that's where it was like you grew. Okay, let me preface this by saying everything I say, I'm speaking from my own personal experience, but I'm sure there is a sense of shared experience from others in the community. But I grew up in Jamaica, 2-parent household. Father came home every night. Mother was a live-at-home mom. I'm stay-at-home mom when she didn't work. So growing up in that household and recognizing that something about me is different, but I can't put my hand on it.
So let me ask you, because you did say, you said something that, a key thing, you said 2-parent household, and father was home every night. A lot of times we like to, us in the pseudo, quote unquote, straight community, we like to automatically point the fingers and say, oh, a kid grows up gay because his dad wasn't around. Right. Your dad was around.
Right, and that's why I stated that.
Yeah.
Because my father, literally, my father is a man of the era of I'm a provider. He got up, he went out, he worked, he came home, dinner, you did your homework, or if I screwed up, I got my ass beat.
Yeah.
To which we all know people had those moments.
You preaching to the choir.
Right.
This one.
And he was home.
So what was different though? Like what? Because you didn't. Okay, so you don't.
What I'm saying is, it wasn't anything different about my household or my upbringing.
You just felt something different.
I knew internally I was different, and the way I started to observe it is I had a lot of male cousins around. So on my mom's side, there's like, her sister has like 9 kids. There's 6 of them are male cousins, and when you hang around male cousins, you pay attention to things, their interaction, their engagement, and you start to recognize,
I'm different.
I don't feel interested in that. I'm not taking to that like they are.
So you never, it's never a feeling of like wanting to feel like you're a girl. Like you never felt like, hey, I think I want to be a girl.
Right. I will say for me, I've never grew up with the, I know or feel I'm a female trapped in a guy's body. Nah, that's not me.
You're just attracted to men.
Right. I'm just attracted to guys.
And again, I don't. Yeah.
And again, the reason why I say that as well is I didn't even recognize the term of what it is until I came to the States.
Because that was frowned upon in Jamaica.
I wasn't even paying attention to what was frowned upon in Jamaica. It was not until I came to the States and I'm in Parkway Middle School, 7th grade, when someone calls me a fag, and a classmate asked me, are you okay with him calling you that? And I'm like, what the fuck is that? What is that? When I got both. I mean, I know that. What I?
You didn't know.
And then I had to go break out the dictionary for my younger people. That's like a big old book with words in it.
They don't use those.
Yeah, y'all call Google now. No, back in the day, you had to know encyclopedia and a dictionary.
Yeah, they don't know what the hell. They're like, what, a dictionary?
I had to go break out a dictionary and go search for the word and read that definition. And in that moment is where that word and that definition clicked for me and was like, oh, maybe I am. Like, this is what it is that's been clawing at me, that I know I'm different, but have not been able to label.
Okay, so now I don't know how we can get away, and I say this because I wanted to respond to a Facebook post the other night, and I used the word fag, and immediately I got a notification from Facebook saying they're not gonna let me use it. So.
Right.
So let's not use that word just in case.
No, I understand that, but for historical accuracy, that was the term of that generation, that era.
Now you want to hear something funny? Because I define the F word that rhymes with stag different from the word gay. Because I see a gay man as just you, like a man who just likes. You like the opposite sex. I mean, you like the same sex. You're attracted to the same sex. I see you as gay. I see the F word now as the guy that's, oh, look at me, let me wear my heels and just want to be all out. And I think I think that goes back to the question you asked me about the shirt. I think more so when I want to wear like a shirt that says straight pride, it's not so much pointing at a gay person because, again, we have gay family members. Who like a gay? Who the fuck cares? Nobody cares. It's more to that other one that just want to be like, because I feel like it's almost like, you ever see the overly black person? Like they're just too black for their own good. Like we know you. Calm down. Like, calm down. You're not as woke as you think you are. Like, they just make you seem like, and that's how I feel sometimes. It's like, come on, man. Okay, we get it. You're gay, but you don't have to wear your lipstick and why the hell do you have a purse? Just be gay. Like, just. Right. And I think that was my whole thing with that. Like, I never.
No, and that's why I asked the question, because, full disclosure, you're not the first person, your guest is not the first person who I've heard say that, but I've heard it enough to where, for me, I recognize there must be something not translating. So let me ask the question, what is your perception of when you hear or see the whole notion of gay pride? What does that register for you?
You even heard my guest even say his daughter came out to him,
right?
And he was okay with it. But then I asked him
about he really wasn't.
Well,
let's be honest. Yeah, I know you're listening, guest, but let's be honest. You're not okay.
Shout out to Zay. He'll be back in the studio.
You're not okay with it. You just lying to yourself because you was on the spot right now. Let's be real, okay?
But you did hear him say if his son was gay.
That's how come I could say he was not okay with it, because he's not. Let's be honest. Because here's the funny thing that I think will surprise members of the non-gay community. Gay individuals are more hard on themselves about being gay than y'all is.
Explain.
Okay. Think about that. Here you are, and remember I said that reading that word in the dictionary and reading that definition, in that moment clicked for me. I was like, yes, now I have a label, something I can say, this is me. But there's a flip side to that coin. And the flip side to that coin is the stigma. It's the pastor who gets up every Sunday and speak about how I'm an abomination. It's the parents who won't accept me, or say they will, but they'll say they'll accept me amongst company, but when we go home,
they talk about
behind closed doors, I'm this, I'm that, and blah, blah, blah. Now, full disclosure, I'm not saying that's my experience with my family, but that is an experience that happens in the community. So you grow up, when you're young, you already start with something is off with me. What is it? Then once you finally get a sense of it, then the rest of it comes, you're an abomination. You're this, you're that. So that continues building with you to where you then start saying, Jesus, you go to bed praying, Lord, why you can't make me normal? Lord, why I can't be like my cousin? Why I can't like girls in basketball like my cousin? Why I can't be accepted like the rest of my cousins? Because what we do sometimes is any potential, I wouldn't say shade, but like all right, if you, me, and our mutual cousin go out, I'm sitting at the table with y'all and y'all not interacting with me, in my head, I'm thinking, you're not engaging with me because you guys know I'm gay. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I can't allow myself to be around or be vulnerable or let you know. So you go home, you go to bed praying, getting down on knees, asking the Lord, Jesus, Lord, get rid of this. I just want to be normal. And for some people, they take it to the extreme of attempting suicide. So we tend to be much harder on ourselves than the straight community recognizes. And the reason why I asked that question earlier is what it is allowed me to recognize is you guys don't realize that. And you're not going to, because you're not part of the community. So for us, or at least a generation of us, what gay pride has come to represent, it is not about, okay, let me be clear. There is a distinction in the gay community between white gays and black gays. So for your white listeners, I ain't talking about you. Okay? I'm only talking to the black gays that I'm a member of. But yes, there was a moment where, yes, I'm queer, I'm here, get used to it. But for a lot of us, especially, I would say my generation, who grew up, that gay pride is more about stepping into your confidence of who you are and your authentic self, and being okay with that and being vulnerable with that. So it is not, so I get where you're coming from. For some of the heterosexuals, your issue is with the feminine version of gay dudes who are out there that come out and wearing a 3-piece with a showing their belly buttons and carrying a purse and wearing heels. I get it. Hey, they don't float my boat either. But I have to respect that for them, that is a reflection of them stepping into their authentic self and feeling free to express who they are.
I'm getting a lesson today. You guys know I'm normally not quiet like this, but I'm learning. And part of the reason why I want to start this podcast was to give people an outlet, which is why season 2 is strictly sit down interview form versus just me rambling, because there's people with stories that can help other people, and I really want to be the catalyst to get that out. Yeah, this small podcast, I want to be the catalyst to get that out, that some other guy may be out there listening like, hell man, you know, something he said really touched me. I want to get back to earlier. We're from Jamaica, born in Jamaica. We have all our roots are in Jamaica. You have a alpha male ass father who, next to my dad, is my favorite man on this earth. How?
No, let's pause that right. I think my dad is literally the favorite uncle in the entire family. So let's give the man his props. Okay, let's give the man his props.
How was it? Okay, because again, this is sheer speculation for me. I'm going to assume that he didn't know from the beginning, or he didn't want to accept it from the beginning. Okay, so first of all, am I right in saying that he either didn't know or he didn't want to realize that you may be gay?
No.
He didn't know?
It's not right in saying either one of those.
Okay, so he probably was in denial.
Not even that either.
All right, we'll get back to that because I don't want my time to run away from me. So, again, now it's an alpha male ass dad, man. I tell you, this guy is just, we call him the vet. You know, he's a legend. How was it when did you actually have a conversation with him?
Yes.
How in the hell did that go?
Honestly, that conversation, truth be told, only happened within the last 5 years.
Whoa. Okay, so I'm 41, so you got to be, what, 39?
I'm 40.
You're 40.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean you just told him when you were 35?
About around that time, yeah.
What took so long?
Again, insecurity. That trauma. That what I would say, and I'm trying to make sure I don't generalize this, but basically for the heterosexual community, what a lot of people don't realize, gay folks walk around with that for their entire lives. They put up walls to protect themselves. They're careful about who they allow around them. You will notice some people even go so far as to have girlfriends, have kids. That is all part of the whole let me maintain.
Pause right there. Don't forget your thought. Have you ever been interested in women? Or
No.
Never?
For me personally, that's how I recognize I was different. I've never had a sexual or that, like, you can look at a girl and be like, damn, her ass fat. Right? And be like, damn, I can't wait to smash.
Let's not get me in trouble,
no, let's be real. Right. You look at that and you will see a gorgeous or good female walk by, and in your head, body parts goes to responding to
absolutely
aspects of that person's body.
Absolutely.
That doesn't do anything for me.
Okay, continue.
That's how come I recognized I was different around my male cousins in Jamaica, because that's what used to happen. They run around chasing girls and then they, come on, Kevin, what's up? What's going on? Why are you not doing it? I'm like, what the fuck I'm supposed to do with this? Like, the hell?
All right, so we can get back to your dad now. I just wanted to know that. So
yeah, so
5 years?
5 years. So, and here's how that happened. That happened because therapy. Therapy happened in the sense of, full disclosure, I said I'm going to be 40 in some years. I made a conscious decision that I do not want to go into my 40s with baggage, trauma from childhood and whatever, because in this community, you meet people in their 50s who still have scars and emotional wounds. Hell, you meet people now in their 20s with those wounds. And how am I supposed to meet someone to build a relationship with if you in your goddamn 50s and you still worrying about your mama throwing you out as a kid when she caught you wearing her wig as a 6-year-old? I can't do nothing with that. So I made a conscious decision, mid-30s, that I will start now because I'm not taking this shit into my 40s. And I went into therapy. And in therapy, started to unpack and uproot all of that. And therapy helped me sit down and have not just a regular conversation, but a vulnerable conversation with my father about this, why we've been so distant and that kind of stuff. And through that conversation, I came to realize, actually, he already knew.
Okay.
He already knew.
So you say that because I've always said, we talk, our cousins, we talk, and I would always, like, it would come up and they'd be like, oh, his dad doesn't know, and I'd be like, how the hell wouldn't his dad know? I said, that's like the worst kept secret in the world, because I'm being naive, just thinking like, he just knows, like, why?
But see, to you guys, it's the best kept secret, because you're making a judgment in the sense of, I've never brought a girlfriend around.
Yes.
To no family function, none of that kind of shit.
You've never brought a guy either.
I've never brought a guy either for that purpose, but the clincher has been, because let's be honest, we know our family.
Yeah.
Listen, Jesus. We know our family. So I'm pretty sure the fact that I've never, all of y'all in some capacity has brought 1 or 2 or 3 females around. Some of them females we still know, we just consider them members of the family.
Yeah.
I've never been one of those individuals. So I already knew that the conversation, the gossip about me already existed. And I'm sure my dad probably heard of it. But it is not until I had that conversation with him did I gain validation that he already knew. And really and truly, he was just waiting on me to come and say something. But in that time and era, that's the fact. You alpha male from goddamn Jamaica, the fuck I look like I'm getting up on to tell yourself, well, I'm daddy, so my boyfriend Jake here. The fuck? Sir, hold on, wait, no. That's not happening in my 20s. That's not happening.
So how did he take it when you finally verbalized it to him?
He was actually, I wouldn't say relieved, he was actually mad. Because for me, the distance that our relationship developed was, for me, that was a part of it.
So he felt like he missed out on having a relationship with his son.
Over something he've already known.
Yeah, over something that didn't matter. That
exactly.
He's
like, you could have came and told me this shit 10 years ago. I could have been already having a better relationship with you 10 years ago. But 10 years ago, I was not in that mental space to be able to engage in that kind of conversation.
I want my audience to be very clear about what he's saying. He is a 40-year-old man who just 5 years ago let his dad know, came out to his dad, as you guys say, and his dad pretty much knew and was upset because he could have had a better relationship with him over years. And I say that to say this. You did therapy.
I did therapy.
So you would recommend therapy to black men?
With a doubt, recommend therapy. And if you don't, listen, I get it. We got bills and all of that. So even if you can't afford therapy,
I think your insurance pays for that in some cases.
Everybody don't got good insurance, so But at least definitely find a strong confidant who is of sound mind and level head that you can engage in conversation with, that can at least offer insight. But for me, it was therapy. I strongly recommend, because let's be honest, life is hard alone as a black man.
Yes, sir.
Life is extremely harder as a gay black man, because you and I don't walk out into the world experiencing the same experiences. And that's why for me, the whole straight pride shirt, I get it. I get the mindset behind it, but where the question came from is where I don't think you recognize how privileged you are compared to me.
And now you're letting me see. Now, like, if anybody's eyes are being open right now, it was mine. Now I will say, for people that don't know you, you're a pretty successful guy. Like, I mean, you're pretty well off. Like, financially stable. You have, your own property.
Look who my father is.
Yeah.
First of all, listen, my dad beat my ass because I brought him a B. That motherfucker was not playing with nothing below A's.
Yeah, you're very well off, and so you didn't let, even though you were carrying this emotional trauma for so long, you didn't let it hinder you as far as making a better life for yourself. So on the outside, so you had a good paint job, pretty much.
Not necessarily a good paint job. What I did was I prioritize and I focus on the list. I have a really good friend that points out to me, I'm a list person. I put shit on the list. Once it hits the list, it's getting done. So my dad started that list. My dad literally whooped my ass and made it clear, me not bring my picnic them from Jamaica for come do C&D. No, sir. Me not do that.
Yeah, he expected
there was an expectation established that, okay, boom, so graduate high school, I did college, career.
What college did you go to, just for the listeners?
A fam.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm a fam alum. College, career, house, car. So I did all of that. Check. And that's where therapy kicked in for me, because I did all of that by the time I was 30. And I was like in my early 30s sitting here like, okay, what the fuck is next now?
Okay, so you accomplished all of that, but was there still a void?
Yes, because I'm now done checking everything off the list. So I'm financially successful, all of that good shit, but I'm going into this goddamn bed alone.
And we're gonna get there. Hold up. So, all right. So I want to get back to your dad again, though, because this is really, really interesting to me. Did you guys embrace afterwards, or how was that moment? Were there tears shed? Because a big problem I noticed, especially with our family, the kids aren't vulnerable enough around their parents. So how was it for you?
Well, it was over the phone. I was
okay.
Right for the listening public. I live in DC, so he's here. It was like, I think it was a 4-hour long conversation. It was the longest conversation I've ever had with my father on the phone. It was 4 hours, and the conversation went so long because we talked about that, and then it led into other aspects of my childhood, his childhood, growing up, all these different things. So I got off the phone. For me, I can't speak for his experience, but I got off the phone feeling like, wow. Like having that emotional catharsis that like, whew, this is the relationship I've wanted. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, you and your dad, I've always been, I wouldn't say jealous, but you guys have been the template of like, why the hell I can't have that? Like that, why I can't have that?
I hear that a lot. That came with some struggle though.
I hear that a lot. But you know what happened? Therapy had to help me recognize that each relationship has a different struggle. Yeah. Right. So it would have been nice if my dad was that go-to person off the bat you could talk to about anything. Yeah, sure. But what would that have looked like for me and him? That wasn't meant to be for us.
Wow.
So I had that emotional catharsis, and I was like, wow. And yes, our relationship since has been better. We talk more frequently, a little bit longer than normal, because used to like 20, 30 minutes was the max. I'd be like, all right, Daddy, talk to you later, bye. That was like my once every 2 week check-in. But now it's more of a, like my dad was visiting me recently and everything. So it's been different.
So how has it been for you relationship-wise now? So now we're gonna talk about the juicy installation stuff. I already let you. I'm not gonna ask you any crazy questions, but how has it been? How is it?
You can ask whatever question you want to ask.
How is it? Okay.
If I choose to answer it, it's a question.
Okay. So how is it in the dating scene being gay? Like, whereas with me, I've been at the game for a long time. So, but with me, it was like, you go somewhere, you see a girl, you buy them a drink or whatever, you talk to them on the phone, blah, 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 you guys go out on dates. How is it as a man, like, okay.
Some of that is still there.
I guess what I'm saying is, though, okay.
It's different.
So, like, I pretty much could go anywhere and see a woman.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go pick up a gay guy? Like, how do you know?
Well, you got to pay attention and pay attention to clues. There's the synonymous word you may hear from time to time, gaydar. Mine wasn't installed correctly, so it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm always told people is paying attention to me and I'm not paying attention to them, so I completely miss it. But it's basically roughly the same perspective. You go out, you either see someone in a bar, restaurant. If your gaydar works and you pick up on the clues that they down for the cause, you make your introductions and that kind of stuff. Now, where it's different is you as a straight guy walk up to a woman and you can say, hey, whatever your go-to line is, can I buy you a drink and all of that? And she's either yay or nay and it's done. No, this era of gay dudes, no. It's like you're being judged first. Do I meet the physical characteristics of what you're interested in? What I'm interested in. If I'm not, then boom, conversation done.
So there's a type then. It's just like with us. Like with me, I have a type.
Any gay dude who tells you they don't have a type is fucking lying. They are lying. They have a type.
So are you in a relationship currently?
Oh no. Niggas ain't shit.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
Let's be honest about that.
Because listen, I will say this. We had a family member died. How long has it been? It's been a year?
I'm going on 2 years.
Wow, it's going on 2 years. Yeah. And you know funerals always bring families closer. Unfortunately, we never get together before that. But all the cousins, we did click back up. And me, Kevin, his brother, and another one of our cousins, I can't say his name.
That person who is listening, Straight Talk does not welcome anonymous guests.
That's right.
Bring your black ass onto the show.
Bring your ass on here. So we were going out, a couple nights that week, and I remember going home and I told my wife, I said, I said I got one. I have very few regrets in life, but I said I got one real regret is that I didn't hang out with Kevin enough when he was here, because he's so fucking cool. Like, again, straight alpha male like me, you go out and you're expecting him to be like.
Don't down yourself too much. Let's be honest, because that person that you reconnected with is post therapy.
Oh, so I would have got shy, timid.
Exactly. 10, 20 years ago, you would have gotten insecure, shy, timid Kevin, who would have been, okay, you and that other anonymous visitor sitting at the table, you guys talking about basketball, football, and girls, and I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness, and all that shit running in my head. Now, when that happens, you know what I do? Fuck them Negroes.
Yeah, you always got something to say.
Right.
So back to that now. What you just said. You just said fuck them Negroes. You got.
When I say that part, what I mean, let me clarify. What I mean for that is I'm now at a stage where I no longer allow that to run through my head. You into females and y'all talking about girls, checking out girls. Y'all into football, great. I'm not into either one of that shit. I'm gonna sit right here, drink my Long Island, and go watch my stocks to see if they're going up. And then if they not. When you want to talk about some real shit, current events, what's going on, cool, I'm here. But that football shit, leave me out of that.
So okay, so you have a term that you like to call people.
Okay.
So we just gonna bring this out because I want to spend the last couple minutes. Want to lighten it up a lot, because it's been real heavy. There's been a lot of revelation going on, and I hope somebody has been really getting something out of this. But you have a term you like to call people fuckboys,
because a lot of them are,
and you are very hard on the male, and
I'm very hard on certain males,
almost to a point where it seems like male bashing.
No.
So what? Well, we consider it male bashing. I'll just keep it a buck.
Okay, then.
So what's the story behind
I heard dog
that?
will holler.
It's like, well, I ain't got a dog in the fight.
Okay,
but I'm just saying, like, we'll be having these conversations, and I'm like, golly, Kevin don't have nothing good to say about guys. Like, what the hell going on? You seem so anti-dude.
No, I'm not. But see, here's the reason why that comes off. Because unlike, let's say, a female, she can shut down and chooses not to engage with men at all. But I'm only interested in men. So my interaction with men is going to be more than most likely the typical female, especially in the pursuit of a romantic engagement. So in that pursuit, that female and I are meeting similar characteristics of men. And let me not say that. Thank you, Jesus. See, therapy caught me. See, therapy is helping me to learn. There are consistent traits that men exhibit, regardless of either straight or gay, that, in my book, is fuckboy behavior. And if you a fuckboy, then I'm gonna call a spade a spade. You's a fuckboy. Let's keep it moving. Okay? So let's be real about it. like
I think you need to ease up. Hey, listen, I'm hard on the fellas too now.
But see, here's the
different reason.
You're right. You're hard, but you and I, we're basically both saying the same thing. But you're approaching it from the perspective of another straight male, seeing the deficiencies in them as men. I am observing the deficiencies in them as men from a romantic perspective.
You know you're gonna get a lot of flack for this, right?
I don't give zero fucks. Okay? If you is a fuckboy, you is a fuckboy. Own it.
I already know somebody gonna be calling me as soon as I release this.
That's fine.
And say, hey, this is ridiculous and stuff like that.
No, and here's an example of what I say by that. Okay? And if you are interested in someone, whether they're male or female, what is wrong with coming to them and saying, hey, so-and-so, I like you, let's go out, let's do this. Having clear, concise communication. That don't happen with fuckboys. Fuckboys operate in the gray area. Okay? The gray area is where they like, because the gray area keeps you guessing what they meant, what their intention is. And for all you listeners, especially my females out there, if a man can't be clear about his intention with you, he's a fuckboy. Period.
You heard it here.
That's for everybody. Because if you are genuinely interested in someone, you should be able to clearly articulate and express that. And if I say you got the, I'm in love with you right now, whatever. No, you should be able to clearly come to them and say, prime example, I have a good female friend. She's back in the dating scene. Her son finally went off to college, so she's like an empty nester now. She's not ready for a long-term relationship. She's just ready for casual dating and maybe getting her back beat out every now and then. Okay? Let's be real. So the guy she's meeting, she is clearly telling these men, I'm only interested in casual dating, maybe go watch a game, have a drink or two, and maybe we have some night of debauchery. Right? Nothing wrong with that. So she's clearly telling you that.
Yes.
Then you're coming back to her and it's like, oh, but baby, I love you. I like you. You're so gorgeous. You're so beautiful. I can see us having kids. Negro, what?
But what if that's true? What if it really?
Okay, if that is true, then that you are still a fuckboy. Here's why that you are still a fuckboy. Because you are dealing with someone who is clear about their intent. You are attempting to convince them that their intent needs to change. Instead of recognizing, you know what? You're not the one for me right now. And maybe I just need to go on. It was good to meet you. I hope if things change and you decide to want to be in a more serious relationship, check me out, blah, 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 give me a chance. Why are you sitting here trying to convince someone that they should be interested in popping out babies with you?
I see where you're going.
For then you to only then disappear 48 hours later. You weren't interested in them. You just wanted a pussy. Well, nigga, just say that. You just want the coochie and keep it moving.
Hey, this is a adult podcast, so please hide the kiddies. I see my time's running out, but I do want to ask you this: what's in the future? What would you like to be married?
My opinion on that has changed, or is evolving. Let me not say that's changed. It is evolving. 10 years ago, I was an adamant, nah, I'm good. But having observed. And let's be honest, full disclosure, the reason my opinion was no, I'm good, has nothing to do with necessarily me being gay. It's just, we were just talking about that. healthy relationships ain't riddled, ain't abundant, ain't bountiful in our family. So seeing good, healthy examples of relationship was like, ugh, okay. But having now been around friends and family and seeing good, healthy, dynamic relationship couples coexisting and building together and dealing with life struggles together, I said, you know what? That's not bad. I might be interested in that someday.
Do you ever want to have kids?
No.
Why not?
Kids have never been on my radar, regardless if I'm gay or not. Kids, I recognize kids require dedication, energy, financial resource, and all kind of shit that I'm just not ready to give their little badasses. Okay? Level than that, I'm a really great uncle. I'll do all of the uncle duties, but when I'm ready to go get my Long Island at 8 o'clock, I do not need to be worrying about no babysitter. Okay? So I'm clear about that. Kids is a no.
Yeah, kids are
responsibility. I toggle with the idea. I play with the idea every now and then, maybe even adopting and that kind of stuff. But I'm like, yeah, you know what? No.
So let me ask you a question, because I gotta ask you this before my time runs out. You wrestle with the idea of adopting. Do you think, and I may have brought this up in past episodes, do you think you could successfully raise a child in a home with another man?
Yes, with a village.
Now you know it's going to be hard, because
it's hard. How is that any different than now?
Because and
now when I say a village, be clear about something. I'm not talking about the elder village that you and I are more familiar with. As a gay individual, we learn, one of the things we also learn as we get older is your family and your village is not just the family you're born into. Correct. It's the family you choose to build around you. And if you build a family and a village around you of unique, distinct, dynamic individual who can pour into that child, then they have a better chance at being way more successful than if they weren't.
You don't think you'd be doing the child a disservice?
No.
Why not? If a child goes to school and they're like, hey, you're the kid with two dads.
Okay.
Like you don't think that'll be unnecessary trauma to the child?
No, because you would hopefully prepare the child for that experience. Because I have friends who had that conversation with their kids. The other thing I say to parents, or at least would hope parents recognize as an experience from me, is have more open and honest conversation with your kids about life and stuff in your household, not just the normal stuff. Because one of the things I did growing up, I internalized my dad and my mother's separation as a part of my issue. Oh, they separated because of you. Because right, because the preacher says I'm an abomination. I feel I'm different, and now I hear they're separating. So I must be the reason why they separated. Which then you carry into your adulthood and make part of your foundation as to who you are. But having in that 4-hour-long conversation with my dad, one of the things I learned, that their separation had not a goddamn thing to do with me.
You're right.
Nothing. But you couldn't tell me shit at 12 that ain't had nothing to do with me.
That's been a really good conversation. I'm going to end the serious portion right there. I got to put you on the hot seat. You ready?
Lord. Okay.
Just want to ask you a couple of questions. Just kind of rapid fire questions. Long Island iced tea or vodka?
Long Island.
You're a Long Island man, just like me.
What? Vodka's good just as a regular drink, but if I want to get like toe up from the flow up, it's Long Island. It's actually 6 of them.
A romantic walk on the beach or candlelight dinner?
Neither.
Why not?
That's too Traditional.
Okay, I would go further, but I can't.
No, and what I mean by traditional is like that's too generic in the traditional aspects of what's expected for dating. I live in DC. Shit. Let's go roam the portrait gallery and pick out shit that we find ugly in one of the pictures. Let's find stuff more interesting and fun that allows me to see your personality.
Okay, in 30 seconds, if you had something to tell to someone, a gay young man or young woman coming up, what words of advice would you give them?
Step into your authentic self now. Own it. You will save yourself 10 to 20 years of headache. Step into it now. And the challenge you and others are experiencing is the younger generation of gay individuals are doing that. They're coming into their teens and 20s being who they are. And guess what? That is what we need more in the world. People who are authentically themselves.
Hypothetical question. Knowing everything that you know now, living your life up to this point, if God gave you a chance all over again to live what we consider normal, you'd be a heterosexual person, knowing everything that you know now, would you take that chance?
That would be the only thing that changes?
Yeah, you're no longer gay.
No.
So you would still choose to be gay?
Yes. And the reason being is because the path I have walked to get to this level, I don't know if me switching is going to be the same path. I don't know what damn drama and craziness is going to come on that one. Let me stick to the devil I know.
Last question.
Okay.
Did you have fun?
This was cute.
It was cute.
It was cute. I'm kind of upset because I came prepared for like multiple episodes, but
listen,
I'm being shot down looking at this big old red timer count down.
Hey, listen, this
I had fun.
This is one of my biggest critics, man. But I love him to death, man, because he keep me on my toes, man. He keeps me on my P's and Q's, especially with this show, is keeping it from going all over the place, which is a lot of times, which is main reason why I decided to do the interview format this season and probably going forward.
That's good. I would suggest when you do more interviews, probably have a little, I know you jotting your questions off your head, but
yeah, I did.
Producer credit don't help to have a little note cards.
I'm gonna start writing stuff down. Right. I think the genuineness of the show is that I literally don't come in prepared.
Okay.
Man.
So, that's true. Well, no, and also, but what I see sometimes is it creates a room for you to miss the opportunity to dig deeper into a thought than just free roaming.
Constructive criticism. I'm always for it. If you have any questions, comments, you want to leave hateful message for me, just send it.
Keep the hateful messages out of my mailbox, please. Keep them on the streets because I don't really care about it.
You can send it. Please send it to my messenger. Yeah. Please send it to my Facebook Messenger, and that way I'll be able to respond to you on the mailbag section of the show. You can also leave questions and voice recordings for me on the Anchor podcast. So anything else you'd like to say before we close out?
Oh, I'd be interested just to hear the reviews of what people said. But the other point is, sir, seriously, when we gonna get your announcer some announcer credits? Because your announcer she reminded me of Shirley Strawberry for a minute there. I was like, oh, wait a minute, you done upped your game on this podcast.
Hey, listen, this show is called Straight Talk with Trevor. I love you, baby. Don't worry, that's just an inside joke. Listen, this has been a tremendous episode. I want to give major props to my guests coming in all the way from DC unexpectedly. I'm so happy that you stopped in by the studio to do this with me. Mm-hmm. And I leave you with these parting words. Always seek out the truth for yourself, because if not, you'll be a victim to other people's interpretations of it. And with that, I say peace.
Oh, so they